Hello, hello. Welcome to the Chasing Dreams podcast. Today's episode, we're talking about the power of partnership while chasing the dreams. And I figured what better way to kick off this podcast than to bring on my partner in crime, my business partner, Jay. He's practically my right hand in business. And aside from that, he's a speaker, a life coach, and a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated.
Oh,
Jay,
six.
what's up? Welcome to the podcast.
What's going on, yo? What's up, yo? I appreciate you having me, man. I'm happy to be here. Happy to be here.
Absolutely. I'm glad to have you. When I was thinking about creating the podcast, I literally was like, I have to have the first episode be with Jay. Like, it just only makes sense.
I mean, I feel honored, and it's just a blessing to be here. It's a blessing to be here.
It's a blessing to be among the number.
It is. One more time. One more time.
You get on my nerves.
I'm happy to be here for real, though.
So I want to start every episode by asking, what is the dream?
Ooh, the dream. Um, Ultimately, I think the dream, for me is, to wake up happy and go to sleep happy. Right. That's my thing. You say what? Well. Amen. Amen. Right. And I'm not thinking that, that every day is going to be peachy and every day is going to be perfect. But I definitely want to have the mindset that I'm getting up to do something that was purposeful. And then when I lay down at night, I did something that was purposeful. So, I'm happy about what I did. So that's the dream, man, is just to get up and feel like you're making a difference or doing what it is you're supposed to do here on this planet while we are here. So that's the dream to me.
For sure. So when did you realize the dream and how has it changed over the years?
I think I realized the dream. I kind of went into a very, very unhappy place.
Mm.
Where I just was unhappy, like with everything, like, and some of the stuff just really didn't make sense. Like, this food isn't good. Like, it's my favorite food. You know what I'm saying? Like, how is it not good? It's your favorite thing ever.
Yeah.
Like, I'm on vacation, not having a good time. Like, this just doesn't make sense. And then I started to realize, like, it wasn't the things going on around me. It was me.
Mm-hmm.
And so over the years, what I've tried to do is realize, one, where my mental space is and where my spiritual alignment, my chakras per se, where I am in a headspace, and then how to approach the things around me. And so I'm realizing, like, this is a two-tiered system, right? It's the inner and the outer. And so over the years, I've tried to make sure that I'm attempting to actually do things purposeful, right? Like, not expecting them just to pop in my lap, like not expecting somebody just to ask me for change, and then I'm like, here you go, there's my good deed for the day. Like, actually going out,
intentional about it.
yeah, being intentional. And that's been like my main motive over the last couple of years, is to be intentional. That's the word, intentional. Intentional. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Get lost in the sauce there.
Awesome. So what tips do you have for introverts who maybe struggle with networking? Because I know that's definitely a strength of yours.
Yeah. I mean, this is that's a strength of mine, I'll say, because I would talk to anybody. Like, I would talk to anybody. And so for my introverted people, because I like to think I'm an ambivert. Like, I'm fully aware that I'm an ambivert. Like, and I think all of us have this, quote unquote social meter that needs to be recharged, right? And I'm me sometimes more than others, because I'm working in like a big setting all day, every day. And so that's a draining thing. But for my introverts, networking, you got to realize, like, the end goal of networking. And so if you're a goal oriented person, the end goal of networking is relationship, and success. So you network to build up your propensity for achievement, right? Growing knowledge. Who you know is way more important than what you know.
Yeah.
And that's becoming more and more evident as I've, linked up with you and stepped out on this entrepreneurial journey. I've seen, and I know for a fact, who you know is going to set you apart. And knowing, like, you want to know stuff, of course, but introverts, who you know, I mean, if you meet the right person, they'll bring you out of that shell. And so that, I think that's key as well. You don't have to necessarily go and work a whole room.
Right.
See who you want to move and shake with, and then just build up the courage or try to build up the courage to approach that person. Make sure you study that person. If it's somebody that's on a grander scale, you can look them up on LinkedIn and know what they're interested in to strike that conversation. And networking doesn't always have to be in person either. So utilize your social media. If you're someone that's like, I can't just walk up to somebody, like like young guys that find it hard to approach young women in public because social media has ruined us, and they think DMs is like just a way. Like, no, it's not. Use your words. Stop being a creep. Stop being a creep. Use your words. How are you today?
Yeah. So I definitely agree. As you know, I am extremely introverted.
Yes. They don't believe it. She is. It's true, people.
It's very, very true. I have learned how to be social, but I am the biggest introvert ever.
She is. Yes, you are. You are. But you are working on it.
I'm working on it, and it's a process. But I think my biggest tips overall for like networking and things like that is focusing on quality over quantity.
Amen.
So digging deep and forming those relationships, like you said, if the end goal is relationships, you don't have to walk away from an event with 10 business cards.
You shouldn't.
But if you walk away with one business card and it's a real relationship, that's more impactful than 10, 15, 20 business cards. And you're more comfortable as you get to have those conversations. And another tip for people who are shy or don't really know what to say, come with predetermined questions.
Yeah.
And so like if we're at a business development conference, right? Mm-hmm. Like Loving Me 2020. Get your tickets.
You should get your tickets out now.
Anyway, shameless plug.
Shameless.
But if you're at a business development conference, one of those networking questions can be, so what kind of business do you have? People love talking about themselves. So ask questions about that person and just let them go.
Yeah.
Listen and engage in the conversation, and your job is done.
You'll learn everything you need to know. And if you don't learn something, that's how I say you run out of time, or obviously it's a networking event. That's the opportunity to say, well, hey, can I connect with you next week sometime?
Right.
Like me, I would never put my cell phone number on my business card. And so the opportunity for you to connect with me is to say, hey, you mind if I notice your number isn't on your card? And if it's a connection, hand me the card and write my number on the back. Now you know you're cooking, with some gas. So simple things like that. But you said it best. Quality over quantity every day of the week. Because how many business cards do you think you hand out at an event?
I hand out business cards a lot. And I mean, you don't hear from them people.
Exactly. You ain't gonna remember them anyway.
And I have a bunch of, I have literally a business card holder full of business cards.
Yeah.
Because I feel rude throwing people cards away, so I just keep them. But at the end of the day,
feel about it.
I add it to my email list and I don't even think about it again. Honestly,
you're doing better than me because I ain't adding it to nothing but the trash can most times.
And that's just what it is. However, there are people that I've met at conferences, like when I went to BYOB the last 2 years, I still have conversations with people that I've met there.
Yeah. Let me clear it up.
Because we had real conversations.
I'm not throwing everybody's card away. Let me clear it up. It's like people go listen to this like, hold up.
God, but
hold up. I ain't heard from you. Yeah, some of them.
Solid 85%.
Yeah, and I mean, some of them are really nice cards that I kept, just like the inspiration of a nice business card. Got some nice shapes, some gloss on there, curved edges. I'm like, ooh, nice double layer thick card for like a black card. For like.
So, tell us a story about the power of partnership in your life.
Oh man, well, just getting back to the those darker times, man, and just struggling through those things. It was people that I consider partners and friends, because it's a difference there. It's a difference there, and and you realize that once you embark out and you kind of determine where the line is drawn. But I was just dealing with something that really just had me like I'm not going anywhere. I was just floored dealing with the issue, and just having one of my business associates reach out to me haven't heard from you.
Yeah.
I hope you're doing well. And not even on the sense of like business more, per se, but
It's
like
just checking in.
yeah, just checking in, and that meant a lot to me. One is a person, right? Because sometimes we get lost in this thing of like work. We're always working, we're always grinding, always trying to get to the next step and next stop, and we forget to let ourselves be human. Like we forget
Um,
that we're not robots. We're not to be automated all the time. And then we start putting other people's ideas and views on us into practice, and we should never do that. And I began doing that, and looking kind of down on myself and real hard on myself, and felt like I wasn't living up into the expectations of who I should be. And then here comes this, business associate of mine, who's just like, yo, I just want to check in and make sure you're good. I haven't heard from you, haven't seen you. Is
yeah.
everything well? And I think that one again made me look at myself as a human. But two, it got me back on my business. It got me back on my grind. And that's what you want from a business partner. You want somebody that sees you as human and recognizes when you're dealing with something, but also uh, holds you accountable for the things you said you would do and you're going to do. So, yeah.
I believe in accountability, child.
Yes, I do. Yes,
You
I do.
listen,
I
and as
still owe you some stuff.
self-accountability, holding each other accountable, you've held me accountable a number of times, so I don't know what that tone was for.
I have. And likewise. Like,
It's a two-way street, and I appreciate both sides of that coin,
yeah,
honestly.
same. Yeah, it's developed over time.
It has.
And I would never want to work with somebody at the rate that you and I work together and not feel like we can't say something to each other. Even if it's like, yo, come on. Like, even if it doesn't come across, I believe if somebody was to hear us have a conversation with each other,
They would
we might,
probably we hate each other.
yeah, they probably would think we really like are like going to each other's neck. And it's like, nah, I'm not even gonna shake. Like, you tell me like, yo, you supposed to give me that 2 weeks ago, and you still haven't done it. I'm like, dang, you right. Like, you're completely right. You are completely like I owe you stuff right now. Like, so I'm completely aware.
But I tone and delivery is something I'm working on.
And we appreciate you here on the other side. We appreciate you. Me and my other team appreciate you over here. We thank you.
But yes, like to be able to have those conversations, like even just today, you were like, listen, I know you ain't having the best of days, but you got shit to do.
Yeah, that's literally what it was. Like, and
Like,
I'm gonna let you have your moment. Like,
but
look, I'm gonna let you have your moment. But Beyonce had one of the best videos all year. You know what I'm saying? Like, best albums all year. I'm gonna let you have your moment because you earned that. You earned that. And it's like, even like with me, we just get lost, man. We really get lost in the sauce, and we're in a push of a hard time right now.
yeah,
With the nonprofit, or trying to plan for next year. Trying to make sure we're ahead of the ball and get everything geared up. And then you take a spin and look at your different type of professional life, your personal life,
yeah,
your family life. It's a lot of things that just converge at this
a lot
time of the
happening.
year. Yeah, and so I was more or less saying, hey, give yourself grace. Like, that's been the best thing ever. Is like giving myself grace. Like, I literally came, home sick. And I
Yeah,
was like, man, I'm bringing home paperwork. I don't do work after hours. Like, I'm bringing home paperwork. Man, I gotta get this stuff done. But we gotta give ourselves grace. Yeah, we gotta give ourselves grace, man, and know
office
like,
hours are Monday through Friday,
mm,
p.m. to 5 p.m.
oh,
Okay,
that 5 is gracious.
and that on the it might be earlier.
Look, 5 is a flex hour and a half calling window. You might get an answer, you might not.
You might not. I don't know. So when you're thinking about partnering with someone, what are some important things to keep in mind?
One, remember you're partnering with a person, not their business. The main thing, first and foremost. Like, they might do great work, might be an amazing business owner and a terrible person. And we can't do business, right? If your business is flourishing, you might have an amazing business. But if you're sexist, you're a bigot, you have racist tendencies, like, what do we have to talk about?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have nothing to talk about outside business. And me, from time to time, I like to discuss other things more than, money and spending charts and, deficiencies and all this, bro, deficits. I'm like, bro, like, can we have a regular conversation? So
Right.
remember, you're working with a person, not necessarily business. Second thing, uh, I need somebody who is committed to what they say they're gonna do. Right, committed to doing that, and then also somebody who is not going to commit if they can't.
Facts.
That's something I've been working on. I think I've been doing pretty well with that. Like, nah, I can't do it.
Better.
I've been getting.
You have been getting better, but no, that's a valid point. Like, so many people overcommit because they're afraid to say no.
Yes.
But the moment you start saying no, your yeses have more value.
Woo. Cat it on me, so I know it's real.
No, but
like
you
ain't never told me that one before. You've been holding out.
My bad.
You've been holding out. Ooh, I like that.
So basically, how it works is if you always say yes, then one, I expect you to say yes.
Yes.
And I don't value it because you're just going to say yes anyway.
Yeah, and gonna ask you to do anything.
Right. But if sometimes you say no and sometimes you say yes, I'm like, oh, okay, when they say yes, they actually want to do it. And you put more quality, more effort, more attention. And personally, I would rather hear no than you say yes, and then I got to hound you to do it.
Exactly. Please tell me no.
Just tell me no. I could have found somebody who wanted to say yes.
Exactly. And please don't waste my time. Add it in there too. Time is like, yo, that's something we can't get back. I'm realizing that so much now. Like, just going through like the conference planning process and all of that good stuff.
Yeah.
That was time. And like literally can't get it back at all. Like with days we never, my uncle used to say that. Days we never seen before, days we'll never see again.
Yeah.
Like, wow, yeah, we won't. And so I need somebody who is going to value my time to respect me like they respect themselves.
Right, for sure. And I'm sorry, was that where you?
Nah, that was it.
The one thing I will add to that is similar work temperaments. I almost got into a business partnership with someone who just didn't have that hustle. Great person. We had similar values. Great friend. But the moment we tried to have a business relationship, I was like, oh, this ain't about to work.
Yeah.
Because I'm very like.
Yes.
And they like.
You marry that.
I'm very that. Okay.
People know exactly what you're doing on y'all know what's going on.
You know what it is. But no, seriously, like I always got something to do. I'm always ready to work. Yeah. I don't slack on certain things. And if I decide to do something, I'm putting it into action immediately.
Yes. You send lunch meeting itineraries. That's the type of business partner I need. I need a business partner that's not just gonna send me the menu. You know what I'm saying? I can get that myself. Like I know what I know. I'm serious though. Like what we about to talk about? We need you because, and like I'm serious. It was funny, but I'm being serious because we're getting down to business. Like we have goals, we have things laid out that we need to talk about and accomplish, and we're merging that with a good time, of course.
Yeah.
But that's the sense of business partnership. There is like business with a good time.
Yeah.
Right. You don't even want, you don't want the counter of what I said earlier about somebody you can't even talk to. You don't want somebody that you talk to too much. You can't get nothing done.
Facts. And I think we have a very healthy balance. Like when we meet up, I mean, hell, we've had business over drinks and still get real conversation done. And we have a good time. And then we can talk about life and we can talk about, goals, personal goals and business goals. And because even though we run a business together, we also both have separate businesses.
Exactly. Which is like the most beautiful thing ever, right? It's a buy-in.
Exactly. Like we come together in the name of Life After Laws. We both have our own separate ventures that we're working on sidewise.
Multiple.
It's a lot of irons on the stove.
Yes.
It's a lot.
Honorable.
It's a lot. But anyways, so what would you say is your number one secret to success?
Am I successful?
Yeah.
Look, I'm saying that like Huey Freeman off of Boondocks. Am I successful? Am I?
Boondocks. Right, not to cut you off, but if I ever raise a son that is half of who Huey Freeman is, I've done my job.
I co-sign that. I like he's a good little radical fella there.
I'm sorry. Funny story. So when I was pregnant with the twins, I actually wanted to name one of them Malcolm Xavier. Ex-baby daddy vetoed it, but I still feel like that would have been an amazing name.
And for the people who don't know, like X was not Xavier, but I like that though. I know you know. I'm telling it to like I got to give a history lesson.
I, and I can appreciate that. I just hate that we had to actually.
It's
So
yeah.
for clarification, his birth name was Malcolm Little.
Yes. And the X is
chose
there
to
why.
go by Malcolm X to get rid of his slave name.
Yes.
But anyways, what is your number
I
one?
like Malcolm Xavier though. Dope nickname. Would have been a
Yeah,
little.
exactly. It would have been. It would have been cool, you know.
I'm hip. I
What
think
was your number one secret to success?
my number one secret to success, in the words of Nipsey Hussle, I'm not saying that I'm perfect. I just didn't quit. And so
Yeah.
and so every day isn't how I want it, man. Even today, like it's just not how I want it. I'm not in a happy place. I'm not in a satisfied place. I'm not complacent, but I'm not gonna stop. And so that's my key. Like I'm gonna have to grind to get to where I want to get. Like I'm realizing nobody's gonna drop nothing in my lap, and I've been, extremely blessed with so many wonderful people, an amazing family. My cup has truly runneth over. Like it's really just been an abundance of just great things in my life. But I'm hungry. You know what I mean? I'm hungry and I want more. And so I didn't get it perfect. I'm not getting it perfect, but I refuse to stop. And that's my secret to success, man. I'm gonna keep grinding until it look like what I want it to look like. You know what I'm saying? Real people do real things. And so here I am.
And I definitely resonate when you're like, I have all these successes, but like, I want more.
Yeah.
And that's why we work so well as business partners. It's like, okay, yes, that was great, but what's next?
Exactly. Like we cool, we celebrate it. Yay. Okay, let's get back to it. Right?
Like, all right, how we gonna do better?
Yeah. Fact. Literally, we got 20. How we about to get 40? It's that simple. Like that simple.
Like when we literally the week after Loving Me 2019, and bruh, planning 2019 was a huge stretch assignment.
Yeah.
Like it took everything out of my soul.
2020 looking real smooth right now.
I'm excited for 2020. But we sat down like that week and was like, okay, what were the strengths?
Literally.
Weaknesses? What were the opportunities? And what are potential threats of the brand of Loving Me?
Yeah.
And boy, I mean, that was a very productive conversation.
It was.
But just to be able to have that, when I said like having a similar business temperament, like we took a day to rest.
That's it though.
Forced you to take a day of rest.
You did. We forced each other. It's like, yo.
But you took it.
You had to. I was tired. It's like,
and that's what it is. Like it's all about balance, right? But within that week, we sat down and had a real conversation.
Yes.
And the funniest part, the weaknesses were easier than the strengths because we were like, we could have did this, we could have did this, we could have did.
And we're so hard on ourselves, like
right, like
so hard on us. Everybody's like, this space is beautiful. You guys are excellent. We're like, really? Like, it's like the space is beautiful.
We wanted that.
Yeah, like we wanted to have helicopters in here.
But
we wanted y'all to meet Barack Obama. Like,
I mean, I tried to get Michelle, but I mean, I guess that'll do.
We tried. We got 100 copies of her book signed. No. For all of y'all for free. You get a book. To be honest
with you, that's a dope idea for next year. But anyway, moving on.
Straight up though, write that down.
No, but then, what final thoughts do you have for us as an audience?
Okay, to the audience. First thing, keep listening to this podcast. It's gonna be
subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe. Absolutely. It's gonna be something that's gonna be influential in your life. Because it's real words with real people, man. So make sure y'all subscribe and listen to this as much as you can on your drives and on your runs and on your jogs and hey, some of you on your walks, whatever it is you're doing.
Listen to podcasts, yeah.
Yeah, put some AirPods to use at work when you ain't supposed to be using them. So that's my one thing I'll tell you. But also, a lot of people are living, and I'm about to get on this little Huey Freeman soapbox right quick. A lot of people are living a lie. And we feel the desire to, again, live up to people's wants of us and their needs of us, quote unquote needs of us. And we're really forgetting about ourselves and about our happiness. Do not curb your happiness anymore. Stop making your happiness an option. Stop tabling your happiness. Because life is short. And we're not living as long as our grandparents, right?
Right,
We're
right.
not, and it's the money ain't the same. A dollar don't go the same distance that it went in the past. Y'all know that already. People getting laid off left and right. The news is sending us into a fear frenzy. They snatching our black and brown babies off the street. And so I'm not about to be out here miserable on the account of someone else. And so I'm encouraging everybody listening to this, man. Self-invest in happiness.
Yeah.
Like, don't wait to 23 and start loving yourself. Shameless plug.
The
do
but.
do it. Yeah, for sure. Do it now, man. Do it now because life is short. But you make it what you want it to be. You might not be the richest. You might not to yourself be the most beautiful. You might not be the most in shape. You might not have the newest clothes and cars. Um, and I hate saying they can always be worse because I struggle with that. But as I'm growing, I'm realizing it really can.
Yeah.
It can. We seem to cage our minds into this just dark place, man. And I'm encouraging you to break loose and create the life you want in your mind, and
Yeah.
then find a way to put that into a reality. So,
Beautiful, beautiful. So where can people find you?
oh wow, you can find me everywhere. Um, you can find me on Instagram at I_am_J. That's I_AMJAY is my Instagram. I'm doing better on there now with posting. I'm back. I took a little hiatus, but I'm back now.
You
I
did.
did. You can find me on Twitter at JAY_that dude. That's JAY_THATDUDE. And you can find me on every podcast platform that you can think of. The Stay Up Podcast, man. STAYUP podcast, man. The podcast is going to change your life and mine. So please, you obviously listen to this. You like podcasts. Give me a shot. I promise you won't regret it.
You definitely won't. It's for sure good content. I love your podcast as
I
well.
appreciate it.
Um, definitely make sure you hit up his podcast. And thank you, Jay, for being a part of the Chasing Dreams podcast.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here. I'm so happy to have blessed this platform.
Yes. All right, guys. See you next week.
Ready.